This is a story of friendship. I just didn't realize it at the time. My best bud Brad and I had many great adventures living on the streets of the Big Smoke. It was only years later, though, that I realized how rich those moments really were. One day, while resting in our favorite alley, I discovered a bag full of stuff. And so, I began to rifle through it looking for something valuable. And I found it. I found a mouth harp. Now, Bob didn't even know what a mouth harp was, but I said I used to play it a lot as a child. I was actually quite good. So, I was going to demonstrate to him my great skills. I cleaned it up a tiny bit, and then placed it in my mouth. Ow! Ow! I immediately smacked my teeth. So, I threw it away. Obviously. That really hurt. And then Bob began to complain, saying he had a headache. He was jonesing for one. He really needed to get one. And I told him, no, you've got to stop. But he said, come on, man, I just want one. And I said, no, that's how it continues. That's how addiction becomes a problem. You just can't stop. But he said, please, I just need one. And I don't know, I was feeling kind of weak. And then he revealed he actually had the money. He had somehow kept $5 and I didn't even know about it. And he could pay for it himself. But then he complained about his knee and said that, he couldn't walk there. And so I thought about it and thought maybe I could get it for him. I could get him what he really wanted. And then maybe he'd stop talking. Maybe. So I took his money and went to the corner variety store. And I would get him what he really wanted. Because, hey, maybe today was a special day. And maybe this would be the special treat that would make him shut up for once. But the truth was, today was a special day because his icy Slurpees were on sale. And with the extra $2, I bought myself a scratch ticket. A winning scratch ticket. I couldn't believe it. I went back in to get the money. But inside, the man behind the counter told me they couldn't cash that amount of money. I had to go to the main office on Monday. So I would. I returned in a different mood, shall we say, and gave him his surprise and his change.
Ta-da!
I went to sit down, but he had stolen my cushion. He grudgingly gave it back to me. My cushion? My God, the nerve of that guy. But actually, I didn't really care. I mean, with the money I'd won, my life was going to change. Sure, it wasn't $1 million, but $10,000 was definitely going to be an upgrade in my living. And then Bob began complaining about his head hurting. He'd had a ice headache or freeze headache because he drank too fast. And I told him, listen, I've said like 1,000 times, don't drink it so fast. But he said it was hard because it was so good. But honestly, I didn't care. I was in a good mood. I mean, after all, my life was going to change. And I guess I was humming without noticing it. But he noticed it. And he said, Look, you're not musical. And the only time I've ever seen you hum before was when you got second helpings of that really good apple crumble at the mission, and that time we were sharing that great bag of Puerto Rican gold. And I corrected him and said, no, it was Jamaican gold. But he said, besides that, he's never heard me hum. I thought about it and realized I couldn't pretend anymore. I had to tell him I had won some money on a scratch ticket. And he seemed genuinely happy. But I didn't trust him. And honestly, I felt guilty because I used his money. So, I didn't know what to do. I had to get out of there and think.
Bob! Out of the rain! To walk! Why? I need to clear my head. Why? I need to think. Why? Can you stop asking so many questions?
But something major had changed. We both felt it. As we walked through the concrete underbelly of this great city, I wondered to myself, what was I going to say? Should I say anything? What was going to happen with the winnings? And Brad still complained about getting these bad ice headaches. And I told him again, stop drinking so fast. But he said he couldn't help it because it was so good. So I decided maybe it was best that I just don't mention this anymore. But then again, how could I not mention it? Winning was going to change my life.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore, because you are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
So we kept on walking, with me trying not to talk. And Brad, well, he was really struggling that day. His knee was really hurting him. I felt bad for him. I offered to go get him some ice, but he said he'd prefer a bag of Puerto Rican gold, and I reminded him, no, Jamaican gold. Maybe we could buy a few bags after I get my winnings. My winnings. How did I know he would allow me to keep it? I didn't know for sure.
Brad,
Yes, Bob.
it was on sale.
What was?
Your icy Slurpee.
And?
And I bought a ticket with the extra money.
And you picked a winner.
Yeah, but it was your money.
So we won! We won! Yeah, we won! Yes, we won! Yes, we won! Yes!
Yeah, we won! Yes!
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me.